the traces of Philadelphia in his work are, you can't unwind or pull anything apart without Philadelphia poking up.
I haven't seen some of these paintings that are in the show since the 60s. When I went around looking at the show upstairs, I got ideas. So I think it's good to look back sometimes. I always say Philadelphia, Pennsylvania is my biggest influence. There's something about the mood here. There was dark carved wood banisters and stairways. There was a certain type of green that they would paint the rooms, either white or this strange green. The rooms had nice proportions. So there was a certain kind of purity. It hadn't been disturbed, except by the soot.
It wasn't any one particular thing or scene that you witnessed here. It was the mood, and is what some of the images did when they got down inside of you.
Yeah, Philadelphia is percolating in me.
The Unified Field is the first museum exhibition of David Lynch's paintings and drawings ever. It's the largest survey that's ever been on view in an American museum, and it's the first.
Back in 1965, and I want to...
He's also an internationally known film director and writer, and he has been nominated for Academy Awards. Pretty much a celebrity. He's known throughout the entire world as a film director, but David Lynch is at heart a painter.
I only wanted to be a painter. I got into film by accident in this very building, in one of the studios right over here. The first film I ever made is now being shown here as it was when I made it. And it was projected in this room, almost just to the right of where you're sitting, on a 16mm projector. And then I had a tape recorder with a loop of Siren, and it was played right here.
One of the things I'm most proud of about this exhibition is that we are presenting Six Men Getting Sick, which Lynch did in 1967 for the first time since 1967. Where David Lynch begins, to me, as somebody who's making work that is uniquely his own, is with Six Men Getting Sick. It's that piece that he made as his entry into the second annual experimental painting and sculpture competition that was held at PAFA. Lynch, who is an advanced painting student at PAFA, didn't produce a painting, but based on an experience he had in his studio one night, he was painting an image of green garden plants at night. It was a nocturnal scene. He paused, and then from the painting came a wind that he heard and he felt, and then he saw the plants start to move on the canvas, and he thought, oh, a moving painting. And he stresses that he wasn't on drugs. You know, this is the late 60s, and everybody wants to know, was David Lynch taking drugs? But all of his friends, and he sort of asserts that he was pretty much straight as an arrow. Not having had any film training whatsoever, there was no film program at PAFA, there wasn't even a photography curriculum at PAFA. He and his friend Bruce Samuelson, who teaches here now, has been teaching here since the early 70s, and was a classmate of Lynch's, talked about getting cameras together and starting some kind of film experiments. Well, Lynch went and bought a camera, a wind-up camera, and he started to basically do stop-motion animation of a painting he was making. Six Men Getting Sick isn't the moment where there's a crossroads and David Lynch picks film over painting or drawing. It is the first manifestation of what winds up being a total sensory immersion. When you look at what the result is, Six Men Getting Sick, it's a filmed animation that goes on for 60 seconds and it's looped. aimed at a sculpted screen that's 6 by 8 feet. And the animation is basically a painting that he's making, that he gradually adds to, shoots 2 frames, adds to it, shoots 2 frames, and continues to do that. And so he's not making little sort of animated cells or approaching film in the way a filmmaker would. Lynch is approaching film the way he knows how to do any kind of studio work or come up with a solution. He is actually making a painting and filming it as it is transforming, through his gradual additive process.
And I've been painting ever since. But I get something from painting that I don't get from any other medium, for sure.
If you don't know what it is, a sore can be very beautiful. A sore in the skin, an infection, a deep cut with pus, but if you took a picture of it, a close-up, and you didn't know exactly what it was, it could be a great beauty of organic phenomenon.
But he's constantly trying to think of new ways of realizing that idea. And it's a vision of total sensory immersion rather than I am choosing film over painting. It's all together.
I only wanted to be a painter. Painting led to wanting to do a moving painting with sound. So cinema to me is sound and picture moving together in time. And for me, it was born out of painting.
Eraserhead is also this intuitive process that he is making a film in a manner that takes 4 years, partly because of funding, but also because of the nature of the way he's constructing the world. Constructed and added to in the way that somebody working in a studio, doing something, putting something in juxtaposition, adding something to it, would do a film, rather than somebody who's shooting a narrative that has a linear sort of trajectory. He wants to constantly remind people that it's a muse. Philadelphia has been his muse, basically.